Hello, everybody. My name is Ron, and this is Just a Little Guy, a podcast in which I collaborate with some of my favorite folks from all around the world to whip up a brand new batch of beasties for all your creative needs. Before we get started today, I just wanted to express my gratitude to all of our patrons who continue to support our show and make it possible for me to make this, especially those who contribute at the incomprehensible cosmic abomination level. So special thanks go out to Taru Tikkanen, D. Solari, Lunchbox, and new member of the Patreon, Jared S. Thank you all so much for your support, and if you'd like to go and help out fund the collective creativity, feel free to mosey on down to patreon.com/justalittleguy. I'll have the link in the description in case you don't want to type that out, or if you're a little bit confused about, how to spell it. But yeah, anyway, getting right down to it. Let's get into the nitty gritty, the monster makey kind of stuff. If you're already on the Patreon, you've seen the artwork that I've posted already from our guest this week, who is an artist and illustrator. He's worked on a bunch of different cool projects, but I first got to know him from his work on TikTok. He's done just a bunch of little animations, fun little cartoons, and also I think the most recent big project that he worked on was the Adam Fellows video. It's Late Night with Angela Faye. The title of the episode is called Normal. There might be a new one coming out in the time between the release of that video and the release of this episode. I'm not 100% sure, but definitely be sure to check out his work anywhere that I'm going to have links in the description for this as well. So be sure to look. If you're not going to look at the Patreon, at least check out our guest links this week. And without any further stuttering and just being a general boob, I'm going to throw right over to our interview. Our guest this episode is an artist and an animator. Please welcome Tucker Wooley. Tucker, how are you today?
Pretty good. I'm ready to make little guys. Hence,
awesome.
The title of the show.
It is indeed. Branding.
Yeah. Excellent.
Party time, etc., etc. So really quick, just for anybody who's not familiar, as I said in the introduction, you are an artist. You do a lot of illustration, I think is the way you would say it. Maybe animation, probably be a little bit closer to that. I'm a big fan of your stuff on TikTok, especially the one with the vampiric looking dude who lost his pet to a werewolf or something to that effect. It's all kind of jumbled in there because TikTok has kind of melted my brain, but I really liked that little story, the most recent one that you did.
Thank you.
And you have done projects with Adam Fellows as well. I think it was Adam and Delilah Save the Universe. Is that what it was?
Yeah, Retake the Earth or
Retake
something
the Earth.
Like that. Yeah.
Yes.
our space cartoon. Which we're having a lot of fun with. It's very pulpy and colorful and fun.
Yeah.
Episode 2 at some point. Whenever Absolutely. It's done.
When it's done, it's done. It's kind of the way I look at it. Again, kind of like this show. When I get done with it, I get done with it. It goes up when it goes up. It's kind of what happens when it's not your full-time job just yet.
Yeah, exactly. You'll get to that point at some point, but for now, we're freewheeling.
Yeah, but in the meantime, I'd recommend everybody go and check out your stuff. Obviously, at it was tuckerwooley.com, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the hub for everything.
So Wooley with only one L, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I made 2 O's, one a couple
L,
times,
and an E and a Y. Yeah. I forgot how to spell my own name for a second.
That's okay. I forget sometimes too. You also have a bunch of characters on your website that you've designed on your own. Himbo is one that sticks out to me. It's just where did you even think of that? It's just a guy with 2 legs and his head's on top of it, basically. Yeah. I was like, that guy's really cool. So when it comes to character design, how do you approach it? What inspires you with regards to your characters?
It kind of it varies between what the goal is, because obviously it's a very visual thing. Usually I'll have some idea, like with Himbo, is a good example of a place to start, because that was definitely like the absurdity factor was the driving force. And I wanted to, I was making a comic for, an art school class at the time, that was supposed to be like an adaptation of a fairy tale. And my roommate and I, who we were working on it together, chose to do an adaptation of Hans the Hedgehog, if you've ever heard of that, like, obscure Grimm's fairy tale. It's about a hedgehog with human legs, and he rides a chicken. It's a really weird story. It gets very violent at certain points, and it's wild. And so we were adapting that into a comic, and then the character of Hans the Hedgehog, the way that I drew him was just a very like literal interpretation of that character prompt. And so Himbo was basically me just wanting to make a character with that body type again because I thought it was funny.
Of course.
And so yeah, that's a good example of like, I just think it's funny ethos guiding the whole process.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Himbo's entire joke for his short film that I made, which was also in school, and my teachers were just like, what are you doing?
What,
bud?
Do we need to call somebody about like, you know, your drug usage or something?
I'm sure they thought all sorts of things adjacent to that, but yeah, I was just like, I'm not going to be able to do this if I don't think that it's entertaining. Like, I'm not going to be able to like spend so much time and energy on it for the entirety of this one class if I don't like, if it doesn't spark joy, you know? So like,
yeah,
I made Himbo with that in mind. And he's also really good like life drawing practice, except only from the waist down. He's good life drawing practice if you're only drawing the like belly down.
Yeah. Like, hey, if you want to learn how to draw feet, this would be a great character to study.
Exactly. And then later I was like, I don't really know how to draw shoes at all. And so he was like my practice for drawing shoes and stuff.
Of course. No, that makes perfect sense.
But with everybody else, like, it kind of vacillates between doing it for fun and doing it to like make a story point. Like we were talking about that Mushroom Dracula guy who I did recently, and part of his character design ethos. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to remind me. What was his name again? I know it was Count something or other. Right?
Archcount Decidula.
Decidula,
which was
right.
a pun on. It was supposed to be a pun on like deciduous trees, which is close enough to a mushroom, I guess.
Yeah.
The other character in his series is called Fungulinus, which was also a like just because I thought it was funny decision that I made.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're good examples of characters that I have that are very like, you know, monstrous, but sort of in a way, in like a Guillermo del Toro sort of way, like on the fringes of society, to make a point about that sort of thing. But yeah, with him, I just kind of wanted to make him look like Muppety and also fit in with the Fungulinus character that I had already made. So
yeah,
that was very much like, oh, I'm trying to make it fit, sort of thing. But anyway,
I gotcha. No, that makes sense. This is one that I like came up with at one point, and for some reason the Monstermatic 5000 just spit it out, just like at random. You know, it listens to me when I sleep, and it just takes these names into account, and it gives it back to me later. And I don't remember what the hell I was thinking when I came up with this one, but the name of our first monster today is the Discordant Floater.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
The Discordant. I'm gonna write it down. I'm imagining sort of a full of air being. Like I'm imagining the in Shrek when they blow up the balloons during that like montage scene and they blow up like the frog balloons.
Oh yeah. It took me a second, but I do remember that. Yeah.
I'm imagining that. I described it in the most deranged way possible. So
you can't describe a scene from Shrek without it being at least a little bit deranged.
That is
it's kind of
yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. So it's kind of like Puffy then, I guess.
Yeah, probably like definitely an orbular base. Let me see if I can.
Orbular. That's a great word.
That's a circle.
Oh yeah, it's in the right ballpark.
Ballpark. Haha.
Hold on a sec. Let me pull out the soundboard.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. I don't know if any of that's even going to pick up on the damn thing. So.
It'll definitely pick up on mine, so we can puzzle piece it together at some point.
Oh man, the one thing I needed, more work.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm here to help.
So he's puffy, he's orbular.
Yeah, definitely a puff ball.
Do we think my favorite question is it fleshy, feathered, or scaly? I think is the other one.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
That's a really good question. I'm imagining fleshy personally, but it can maybe be like I'm imagining membranous, which is a word.
Ooh, yeah,
that I like.
Yeah, I have not thought about that word ever in my life, but membranous makes a lot of sense in this case. It'd probably be like I'm almost picturing like a snot monster.
Yeah,
almost.
maybe it could have maybe it could be nose based. I don't know. How do we make that discordant? What I was sort of imagining was like because it definitely needs to float. I think like a gaseous creature makes sense. Trying not to make it like too frog-like, but I'm definitely imagining some like some sacs, and maybe in there it like produces its discord. I don't know.
That could be, yeah.
I'm also definitely imagining. This is just me. I'm imagining like gross little hands.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Like that.
Yeah. If it's gonna have arms, it's gonna have it can't really reach very well.
Yeah, vestigial at best.
Yeah.
No thumbs. That feels appropriate.
Oh, or maybe it reaches really well. Like maybe it's like those little like slappy things that you used to like the jelly slap.
Absolutely.
Doodads.
Like these.
Yeah.
With yeah.
And you just like slap them to your car window and stuff.
Absolutely.
It could still be like the Velociraptor, like it could have like a flaccid state, I guess.
Yeah, they dangle, I think. I think the discordant floater is a dangler. Classified of the creature.
Classified as a dangler. I love that idea, especially after the nose-based thing that we went
exactly.
with.
Yeah, and I could just
yeah, he's got the Nigel Thornberry schnoz. Smashing.
Mustache,
that's wonderful.
something. I don't know. Thinking maybe he could because again, like he needs to float, but in like an organic way. I guess he could be like a little magic guy.
Yeah.
But I was thinking like, because especially if we're going with fleshy, he could have sort of like a cheek sack.
Ooh.
I'm thinking of an Adventure Time side character, which is also usually where my brain goes. It's either Adventure Time or Mario is where my brain
hey, those two really good like points to go to, I'd say.
Yeah, especially for this enterprise, I would imagine.
I mean the monsters in there are kind of the same kind of thing. It's like it's kind of I don't want to say gross out or anything, but it's kind of
but definitely I think
unique.
A lot of them apply to that. Yeah, I'm imagining like he inflates these sacks.
Yeah.
They're filled with a gaseous substance.
And then they just like Oh, yeah, that's a good point because it's the floater.
Mm-hmm.
When I thought of like floater,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing that came to mind for me was like a swamp thing.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
this is an interesting take on it.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I like the collaborative aspect of it because
Me
it's
too.
like people go to different places.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like that. That looks good. That'd be a good like defense mechanism. Good way for it to get away. Is to
Yeah,
just, like,
exactly.
maybe when it
Maybe he's got like a little
inhales
pufferfish.
oxygen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe when it inhales oxygen, it like how we turn it into like CO2. Maybe it turns it into like what's the phrase I'm looking for here? Like a helium kind of thing.
Ooh,
Something
yes.
to lift it up.
I like that a lot. Yeah. Helium based. I'm taking notes like you ever see Gravity Falls? And like the journal in that where he's just like constantly taking.
That's a
little
lie,
notes
actually. I've
behind it.
never seen that, but
you would enjoy it. There are lots of little guys in Gravity Falls.
Very cool.
It is
very
chock
cool.
full of them.
I've been told it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
By like so many different people, and it feels like it would be something I'd be into because I do like Adventure Time.
Mm-hmm.
People have been saying the same thing to me about like Steven Universe and stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yeah, I'm a big Steven Universe head, and
Yeah.
I'll go to bat for Steven Universe anytime
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It needs like it needs a ventilation system, I think. And
yes.
I was thinking maybe you might have to put a trypophobia warning on this, but it's not going to be too bad. It's going to be a cartoon version of it. I was thinking maybe like you know how a lot of frogs have the like holes on their back. This is the weirdest picture of a mama frog in the world, but where they keep their little babies.
I actually did not know that was a thing.
Yeah,
so.
I know at least one type of frog has that. Where they like, yeah, they keep their babies in there. I think I could be completely making that up.
Interesting,
but yeah, maybe like along his back, there's little ventilation,
like the little holes, so that like if it needs to release its,
gases.
Yeah, exactly.
There he goes.
Yeah, so you can also get some, because again, Discordant Floater does kind of feel like a toilet thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Like, little fart bubbles coming out of its back make a lot of sense.
Yeah, that would, I think. Yeah, they're like maybe he like propels himself using those as well.
That's true. Like in order to get away, like so to like lift off, he just like holds his breath, and then to get away, he releases it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and then he just kind of he flies away like this. Big fart.
Of course. And it has to be green, otherwise it's definitely a different monster.
Absolutely. Yeah, otherwise it won't scan as fart.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's gotta have a big mouth because it needs to. Because I was thinking like it could make a sort of brass instrument style sound using these cheek flaps, but I think it also needs like a mouth to do that.
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think? Should it have like teeth or should it be?
Ooh. That's a good question because I feel like if it has this kind of ability to like fly away and stuff, because this guy to me anyway reads like maybe not predator, maybe more like prey kind of animal.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I could totally see there being a world in which it does have like big sharp teeth, and it's just kind of like it waits for something to like. Oh my gosh, my cats will always find a way over here. I'm thinking that maybe it will use it to kind of play possum, I guess, for lack of a better phrase.
Okay.
Where it'll be like, oh no, I'm so harmless. And then it will, show its teeth and use the gas, to kind of throw itself at its prey.
Yeah. So
like
they gotta be hidden
like something.
teeth in that sense.
Yeah.
And then maybe when it opens its mouth, it goes like
Yeah, it's like rawr.
Big.
Yeah, kind of like the critters.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe the mouth is kind of like a slit.
Yeah, and just look. Yeah, exactly. That's the exact expression I was picturing.
Uh-huh.
Like it just looks like it's hapless.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh man, I smell so bad.
Oh jeez.
And like, oh geez, Scoob, let's get back to the mystery van. Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's exactly what I was picturing. And it makes a lot of sense because it does look again like he's just a little nerdy guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like
and
no
he
threat to
is
anybody.
to his core, but he also has teeth, you see.
Yeah, I mean, because as he's rolling around, like he's got the floppy legs and stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how I imagine that he traverses the world.
Absolutely.
Aside from like the flying, is the rolling.
Yeah, he just like he schleps along the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like
just kind of at his own pace.
Puts one big slappy hand in front of the other, and he just sort of crawls along the ground.
And he's like, I'm just living my life.
I'm trying over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when he flies, it sounds like almost like an accordion sound. Like when he's expanding and contracting, he's so like full of hot air and gas and fart gas that he sounds like an accordion or like some kind of brass instrument.
Yeah, just like or like a harmonica maybe.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like the accordion thought even better though, because this guy does seem like a Weird Al kind of guy. So
yeah, Weird Al would be. This is Weird Al's Monster Sona.
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah, this is the one that gets Weird Al thinking about weird stuff, like that post that I made on Blue Sky this afternoon about monster fuckers.
Yeah, good. We need to court the monster fuckers, I think.
Mm-hmm. Just be like, hey, look, I haven't made them explicitly horny yet, but that doesn't mean that you can't be attracted to them. Okay?
Yeah, we're a safe space. Okay, like it's fine.
Yeah, we welcome everybody here. So
yeah, I don't know. How can we make this guy is probably the least fuckable thing I've ever seen. I don't know. Like, does that do anything for you? Is that anything?
I'm sure it's something.
I'm sure it's something to somebody. What else? We were saying like prey animal, so maybe it'd be really funny if he just had like a giant target in the middle of his.
Oh yeah, like the natural like markings is just like a target kind of thing. Yeah, that's great. It's kind of like what's the dude in Pokemon?
There's so many.
Poly something or other.
Yeah, Poly.
Yeah, that's true. There's like
Polyworld.
Yeah, there's like thousands of them now, but yeah, I think you're right.
You know, that's actually supposed to be, or that's referencing the fact that a lot of frogs have like transparent stomachs, so you can kind of like see their insides, and the intestines make kind of swirl. So that's what Polywrath line is supposed to be. Maybe that could be the case with him too. Like he's like semi-translucent.
Oh yeah. If he's like got that, what's the word that we used earlier? Membranous. Kind of feature about him. Yeah, I could see that. Especially with it being a little fleshy.
I don't know how to spell membranous, but I'm gonna.
That's exactly how I spelled it. I could Google it really fast if you really want me to, but membranous. There's no E there, I guess.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But that's okay.
So it is a word that I made. I probably didn't make it up. Probably Lovecraft made it up.
Somebody made it up somewhere. All language is just made up.
That's true.
Everybody wants to be like, no, language is defined by I don't know what actually.
But of course not.
We made it up.
We're making everything up.
The whole thing. The whole kit and caboodle. Yeah.
That's a good one,
Transparent tummy. I like that. What kind of prey do we think it would go after if it was going to go after anything? Definitely.
Well, if it's swampy, then I think it would definitely be swamp creatures, lower swamp creatures. I think the teeth probably help a lot with that. So it's so do you think it's because it could be a herbivore if it is in the swamp, because it's like, there's a lot of moss and stuff, and you would kind of need teeth to grind that up, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a carnivore with all those teeth. But what do you think?
I mean, I feel like it could be omnivorous, really.
Uh-huh.
Like, it could just eat just about anything. I mean, you look at that rotund build,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to figure that he's well fed, regardless of what is there and what isn't. So,
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think it's definitely mostly air, but like, those transparent guts over here, they gotta hold something in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he kind of just like gets whatever he can, whatever floats his way.
Yeah.
Spare,
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Swamp birds that sort of are in his path. That bird is upside down. There we go.
No, it's not. What are you talking about?
Flies and such.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that makes a lot of sense. Like little swamp creatures, like I don't know if they have squirrels in the swamp, but like, anything that just like kind of wanders in there. Frogs, I'd imagine, all the insectoids and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, do you think that this is a lone creature, or would there be like a bunch of them? Because I feel like this is like
a roving pack of them would be really funny.
Yeah,
that would be of varying sizes too. It's kind of like a hot air balloon situation, and then you've got like a little baby here.
That would be a great piece of like art where you just have like one of those hot air balloon like paintings, but it's all these guys.
God, horrifying.
Yeah. So they have like like a pack.
Yeah, they've got like a flock. Yeah,
flock. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
A flock of discordant floaters.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think the reason for this monster to exist like would be like within a story? Like, do we think there's a good like what would you use him for if you were trying to tell a story with that focused around the discordant floater? Like,
I mean, it would definitely be a good if the story is not necessarily about the discordant floater. Then it could definitely make a good like swamp D&D type monster, a good encounter. I also think this is somewhat unrelated, but it could be related to this hypothetical. But when it dies or when it gets killed, it like obviously it's full of gas, and so it like explodes. Like whales sometimes do when they're beached. They get like full of gas, and then so maybe
just guts everywhere.
Exactly. You have to be really careful. Like it does have a giant target on it, but like you have to be
more
really
like
careful.
A taunt at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a big wind bag.
It's like, yeah, go for it, buddy. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, it uses self-destruct like the Pokemon move. It's like if you're going, if I'm going down, you're going down with me, sort of thing.
I kind of forget that's a thing that they even do in that game.
Yeah, it's like I'm not keen to use that very often, because I don't want my guy to die.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think like a story focused on the discordant floater as the main character would maybe be a sort of ugly duckling situation. Like the discordant floater ends up in a flock of like ducks or swans or something, and he's like totally the odd one out.
Yeah, or maybe it's like around frogs that are like hopping around and stuff like that, and it's unable to do that.
Yeah.
I'd say like the ugly frogling, but I don't think that's really like, I don't think that's a thing.
Ugly frogling. I like frogling as a word.
I'll write that down for later.
It's got a good mouthfeel. I'll write down frogling as well.
Yeah.
Just loose.
Maybe that can be its scientific name or something.
It also sounds like a verb, like he's frogling around.
I hadn't thought about that.
That is what he does.
That's a frogling with 2 G's.
I love him. I think he's probably wet.
Yeah, he's probably like ooze and
yeah,
like oozy and yeah.
There's
Not like
definitely
Uzi. Well, what if he was Uzi like a machine gun? No, that wouldn't make any sense.
that would be interesting. Maybe he could have some more holes in here where he shoots out some.
Like maybe in the back of his mouth, he's got like kind of a thing where he like shoots out like hardened boogers. You know?
Ooh, hardened boogers.
Or, you know, like mucus, like hardened mucus kind of things, since he's like a mucus booger monster kind of thing. I don't know. Just a gross idea.
Yeah, he's kind of a gross guy, but I do love him, and I would die for him.
So I love that guy. He's really cool.
I think he's great.
I can't wait to see what people do with him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's move on to the next monster, I suppose. I was going to bring this up kind of in our conversation off stream or off podcast, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But recently I've been kind of thinking about my theme song because every once in a while it'll get nabbed by the YouTube algorithm. It's like royalty-free music. You know how it is.
It happens.
And so that's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
But I was looking into it recently, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder how much it would cost to license the Monster Mash. You know?
It's a really good question.
Yeah, the Boris Pickett song from way back in the day.
Yeah.
And so I looked up exactly that question. And one of the sites that came up was themonstermash.com, which I'll send to you in the chat right now.
That's a thing?
Yeah, it sure is. Hold on one second. Let me just put my camera on correctly here. Yeah, there's a website called themonstermash.com. And if you take a look at it, you'll see kind of...
There's Boris.
You know, there he sure is. He sure is there.
Oh, and the flame gifts. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Isn't this just wonderful, just web design kind of stuff here?
I love this. This is extremely my jam.
Yeah. Would you think this is a legitimate website, like, for the Monster Mash? Like, this is just something somebody just made up, right?
I think it's too... Well, okay, clearly there's a there's a contact for Stuart Hirsch, which sounds like maybe a manager or maybe like an in-law or something, maybe both.
Yeah.
This is just my Boris Pickett headcanon.
Sure.
But Stuart Hirsch has the 1960s at AOL.com as his...
I know.
And that's really perplexing me.
Yeah. And this website was at least updated in 2007 because they have an in memoriam thing for Boris Pickett on there that says February 11th, 1938 to April 25th, 2007.
Yeah.
And this does look like a website I would have made in 2007.
Oh, absolutely. This looks like a website I would make right now.
Yeah. Which means it's all coming back around.
Yeah. Also, they might have used the same like wallpaper background that I used for a thing. That's weird.
Yeah, it's strange to think about.
Give me a flashback.
Yeah.
914 is a Yonkers area code. So
so New York City.
Yeah. Not to dox Stewart over here, but
I don't think he minds.
I mean, he did put his
I think he's dead.
Phone number. No, maybe. I don't know. Have you called him? Have you tried?
Not yet. That's the thing. So I did a little bit more research into this because I was like, there's no shot this is a real thing, right? Like, this is just a guy like who made up this website, and he probably did a cover of the Monster Mash and is just like a big fan of Boris Pickett. But no, according to Wikipedia, in 1989, Stuart Hirsch began managing Pickett.
Okay.
And upon learning that he did not own the master recording to the Monster Mash, they, in 1993, recorded a perfect copy of the original Monster Mash that they then used to undercut the owners of the track, Universal.
Whoa.
Yeah. And according to Hirsch, the company was unconcerned with the song's legacy and instead preoccupied with how much money they could get off of the song. Pickett was missing out on thousands of dollars in licensing fees, but Hirsch and Pickett's goal was not just to make money. They sought instead to help keep Monster Mash relevant by making Monster Mash affordable to independent production houses. They ensured that it would always have a place in culture. So
based, actually, I think, kind
yeah.
of.
I was like, that's pretty cool.
I'm still making up my mind about it. Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah. But so they were in partnership. Like, it's not like he was doing this behind Pickett's back.
Yeah, it's not just like, hey, I'm just gonna yoink this song and it's just mine now. No, yeah, they were working in tangent with one another, and
democratizing
I was
the
just
Monster
like,
Mash.
Yeah, I was like, this is the wildest thing I've read.
That is pretty cool, actually.
Yes. So that is to say that down the line, you might notice a shift in my theme music. To the Monster Mash, depending on how much they tell me that it's worth.
We'll see.
But I just thought it was such a fascinating little like tangent to go down. Was like, how much does it cost to license the Monster Mash? And it turns out, it could be not that much because they want to make it so that independent houses can use it. So
be nice.
So the bottom line is, if you'd like me to use the Monster Mash as the theme song for Just a Little Guy, please feel free to subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/justalittleguy, and I might be able to raise funds to do that.
It's going to go into
more than likely
the Monster Mash fund.
Yeah, the Monster Mash, the little jar that I got, hidden away somewhere.
It's like a swear
it'll probably
jar,
just go to paying my bills, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I don't make enough money to have a swear jar, so.
And also, paying your bills important so that you can then get the Monster Mash later.
Yeah,
it's all ultimately in service of the Monster Mash.
Yes, everything is going towards the Monster Mash. So.
That would be incredible, because then I feel like you could really open the floodgates up to everybody else as well.
Oh yeah,
like if the Monster Mash is affordable to me someday, that would be extremely cool.
Yeah, so that was a fun little tangent, and I guess that leads into my next question, which is, if you were to create a monster that were to attend the Monster Mash, what would their role be? Would they be like the life of the party, the wallflower? Like, let's build a guy around this, I guess.
That's extremely good. Because I'm gonna look up the lyrics to the Monster Mash to get like a full inventory of who's there.
Oh yeah, Dracula and his son are definitely there.
Dracula and his son, okay,
and his son.
So sons are the children of the monsters are fair game. Yeah, they do just say like who's there. The Crypt Kicker 5 is there. And the Coffin Bangers.
The Coffin Bangers. We got zombies.
Yeah.
I mean,
Igor
I think
is an
Frankenstein in here.
Impetuous young boy, apparently.
Yes.
According to the end of this song.
And also they're not doing the Transylvania twist.
Yeah, very important. Maybe this is okay, so Drac was an advocate for the Transylvania twist.
Yes.
Maybe our man could be man, woman, child, non-binary monster, whomever.
Yeah.
Maybe they could be the originator of the Transylvania twist.
Ooh, I like that idea.
You'd think that it would be Dracula, especially because he's like owning up to it here. Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist? But maybe I think that there's some contention in the Transylvania twist community about that.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
They're probably like, that wasn't you. That was Nando the Magnificent or something like that, you know?
Nando the Magnificent.
Definitely not ripped off of the guy from What We Do in the Shadows.
How do we make a legally distinct Nandor?
Ooh, good question. Nando.
Nando. Nandalorian.
Yeah, we're going from one potentially litigious group to one certainly litigious group.
Wait, but I think actually what we do in the shadows is technically under the Disney umbrella now, because isn't it FX?
Oh,
and
no,
FX
you're
is
right.
Like Fox. Yeah, God, the rabbit hole goes so deep.
Oh, I sure do love having a country where like everything is owned by 5 companies.
Super cool. And then like all those 5 companies are owned by like BlackRock or whatever. And
yeah, and somehow they're all evil. I don't know how that happened.
Existential nightmare. Yeah, they won the evil lottery.
Oh yeah.
So Nando is definitely like vampiric, I think. Maybe he's Dracula's brother.
Yeah, he's Dracula's tracksuit wearing brother. Because now I'm thinking about like the episode of Futurama. You know, the one where Fry's brother.
Yes.
Is, yeah, you already know the one I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm thinking of is the one with Fry's brother where he's like, I'm gonna copy everything you do, and
he's the off-brand Dracula. I think that fits with his name being Nando.
Yeah.
Because it's like legally distinct.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm trying to make like a body shape for him. Should he be like, or I guess I imagine. I mean, this is just my personal Dracula headcanon, but I imagine Dracula is like a very wiry sort of guy with like the big cowl.
That's how that's more or less how I always pictured him.
Uh-huh.
He's like, I'm the skinny dork of the group, more or less.
Exactly. And so maybe if Nando's got a tracksuit, then he can be a little bit like shorter and more like athletic, but he.
I feel like Nando's got a tracksuit is like a fantastic. I don't know what that would be, honestly. Like some kind of a lyric in some way.
Feels like
or like some kind of a mockery.
It could be a band name. I run a band name's Twitter that has ruined my life.
Oh, that's right.
Is my curse forever. Every day. I have to do that. Yeah, Nando's got a tracksuit. Is it good? I'm writing that down here.
All right.
I use my digital canvas like a paper canvas, except with an undo button, which means that it's better.
Yeah, you don't have to wear down an eraser or
right?
anything like that.
I'm wearing down this pen nib right now, but
yeah, or like Control Z, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So he might be Dracula's brother, but do we think Dracula's brother would necessarily be a vampire? Maybe
not.
Vampire, like vampire-ish.
I think maybe
to
like
quote George Santos in a way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, maybe he's like half.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got one thing.
Mother got together with a wolf man.
Oh, yeah.
I was brought into the world.
That would be interesting. Yeah, so maybe he's got like little sideburns.
Yes.
And little puppy dog ears.
Of course. Once again, the monster fucker should be very happy with this.
Yeah, this is a prime example. Like,
yes.
This is what and hey, maybe one of these, right? Huh?
Of course, you can make anything out of that.
Does that do it for you, monster fuckers?
What about if he has like a pompadour as well?
Ooh,
like, that might be a little played out, but like I don't know.
I have to look up a pompadour real quick. I'm a fake artist.
That's okay.
Yes. Fuck.
Yeah.
Looking
He's
like a
the
JoJo
cool Dracula
character almost.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of that.
JoJo was about vampires for a minute, I think, right?
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen it.
Yeah. My boyfriend was telling me like, yeah, Araki like made it about vampires for like a minute and then like completely dropped it after a while.
And I was like, I'm bored of vampires.
Yeah, man. Let's just have them all be assorted weird guys.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. They're all Dio anyway.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like you don't need a more charismatic character than they're all charismatic.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I took away from it is it's me, Dio. That's as much as I got into it. So
I think that's all you need to know, really. That's basically all I know as well. So
right. So he's kind of got like almost like vampire fangs, but like maybe his powers is like a 50-50, like what he'll turn you into. Like maybe he'll turn into a werewolf, but maybe he'll turn into a vampire. Maybe he'll just turn into another Nando.
Yeah, he perpetuates himself more than anything, or he turns you into a wolf bat.
Oh yeah. like a wolf with wings.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Ooh. Yeah, that could be a thing.
Kill me.
You're talking about like, so are you picturing like it would be a tiny wolf body with like bat wings, or are we talking about like a regular full-size wolf with like enormous bat wings?
Yeah, I don't know what I just came up with here. Looks like more like an aardvark or something, but
for some reason it's not updating for me. Hold on one second.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's not your fault. It's probably because I navigated away for a second. So, boop. Ah, there we go. I see it now.
He's like,
yeah. So he's like really cool on the outside, but then he turns into that.
Exactly. Yeah. He turns into this pathetic creature. I'm thinking mustache. I'm thinking like porno, like 70s porno mustache.
Oh hell yeah, yeah, of course.
Or even like biker maybe. I'm thinking like this.
What I was gonna say now, if you display what a biker mustache is, just because like I'm not totally 100%.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure either, but this is what my brain decided.
That looks good. What would the porno stash look like in comparison?
Let me look it up. What if I Google porno stash?
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually pretty descriptive. A picture of Henry Cavill popped up, which is really funny.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And also Jennifer Lawrence for some reason.
Oh, that's weird.
That's strange. Yeah, here's our example. I'll paste it into my drawing window.
I think I like the biker mustache.
Yeah.
I
think so, probably.
Yeah, I think that since he's so, as the brush is called, fuzzy-tastic.
Yes, exactly.
Or that's fuzzy static, my mistake.
Yeah,
I can read.
There's lots of settings on this here program. Art people will be able to tell that I'm using well, I guess it says it up here. Paint Tool Sci, which is a pretty old program, but I like it. For me.
Oh yeah, I see it now. I was like not totally sure what that is, but yeah, I mean you get used to like your workshops, and why would you change it around?
It's
like
consistency is important for me.
Yeah, like I used Photoshop like 2004 for the longest time.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, well, I don't want to keep on getting in trouble because I'm using a code generator, so I'm just gonna go on the up and up and use Clip Studio Paint.
Yeah. It's better anyway. Adobe stinks.
Yeah, Adobe's the worst.
Adobe
do not give them money. What were we talking about again? Oh yes, Wolfman. Who's not really a wolfman. He's also a vampire. In a tracksuit.
He's somewhere in between the Animorph transformation. And I think he has like big paws.
Big paws. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Again, monster fuckers.
This one's yes. For you. This guy, he's all for you.
Mm-hmm. Nando. He's a catch.
He is. He's, yeah, sure. When he decides to turn to his, wild form, he's maybe not as, thrilling.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, like 50-50, like that's still pretty good.
Yeah. And yeah, he can only do it like during the full moon.
Yeah, yeah. It's or really actually, maybe it's a half moon.
Yeah. Oh, that's even better. Like,
because he's half and half.
Yeah, exactly.
He's biracial.
He's just like, hey, don't make fun of me just because I can only turn like every. I mean, it's the same time frame, right? Like,
yeah.
It's yeah.
I think Nando and Bobby Duke hang out.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. I'm deciding that that's canon now.
He's not the star of the channel though. He's like
exactly.
He wishes.
Just like Dracula stole all of his thunder.
Yeah, Bobby Duke is like, I don't know, stole his accent or something.
Yeah, he's actually just copying Bobby Duke. He's not even copying Dracula. He's just copying Bobby Duke.
He's like, I wish I could be the star of the channel. I just really, really want to wear that long trench coat and that hat. But instead, all I got is this stupid pompadour and this mustache.
It's a pompadour with a widow's peak, too, which I think is...
It's a very unique hairstyle.
I don't know how that happens. And then, yeah, tracksuits are... I guess they're technically two pieces, so I guess I can separate his pants here.
Yeah. I just like the expression on his face.
He's ready.
He's like upset because somebody brought up the Transylvania twist, like in such a way that like did not credit him at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, I got it right. I got so completely away from the Transylvania twist. Transylvania twist originator.
And and I'm thinking that like the tracksuit is because he decided, hey, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into breakdancing, and then I'll show them like,
ooh, yes,
I'll show them who the real creative genius is in the Kula family.
Pro breakdancer. Are you insinuating that Dracula's first name is Dra, and then Kula is his last name?
That's exactly what I'm implying.
So this is Nando Kula.
Nando Kula.
Cool.
Just like their pet rabbit, Bunnicula.
That's true. I was just thinking about Bunnicula the other day.
There we go. Now we can't be sued at all.
Uh-huh.
Nandocula or Nandocula. I don't know.
Nando the Magnificent Kula.
Yeah. If he was a pro wrestler, that's just what his name would be.
I think he's got like a little tail.
Yeah, probably. Oh my goodness.
He's handsome.
Yeah, this is the best possible solution to the question. If you had a character that could go to the Monster Mash, who would it be and like what would his role be? So I imagine that he spends a lot of his time like kind of sitting on the sidelines being like bitter, despite the fact that he elected to come to this party.
Yeah, absolutely. He actually came up with
yeah.
He came up with the party.
Not only that, yeah, he was actually the one who like said to Boris Pickett, hey, you know, we should have a party. Call it the Monster Mash. And
it's going to be a graveyard smash, guys. I promise.
Yeah. It's actually his laboratory too.
Ooh, yeah. What does he make?
That's a good question. I mean, besides other Nandos,
he makes whatever this is.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, he just gives people mustaches. That's his whole thing. Like he's what's the word I'm looking for here? He's kind of like the opposite of a barber.
Uh-huh.
You know, they take hair off, he puts hair on.
Reverse barber.
It's that's where the phrase, you know, it puts hair on your chest came from.
Exactly. Yes.
Like you put hair on your face.
It says, I have lots of hair.
Yeah. Here, have some.
Here, have some. Rip some off.
Oh, that's great. I didn't expect to come up with a monster that slaps hair on people today. At least not in such a manner.
It is my job.
What else can we add on to Nando the Magnificent Kula?
Nando Kula. The one and
maybe
only.
he's also like part of a polycula.
Yes.
Yes.
With the mummy and I don't know, creature from the Black Lagoon.
Sure, I was gonna say Mr. and Mrs. Frankenstein as well, but that makes sense.
That would be awesome. Yes.
I mean, it is a polycule. It can be as many people as they want. So
exactly. Maybe they're the creature of the Black Lagoons. This web is getting tangled like a real polycule.
Yeah.
Mr. F, and then his
Mr. F.
Mrs. F. inscrutable, but
awesome. Hey, look, we had to fill out that canvas, okay?
Yeah, exactly. No blank spaces.
I like this character. It's so goofy.
He's really good. It's gonna make him saying something, but I don't know what to make him say.
So, like, who do we think that he targets when he's like looking for new members? I'm gonna say that like anybody who becomes a Nando is also part of the polycule.
Yeah, he's just trying to recruit for the polycule.
Yeah, he just wants to. Eventually, he's going to like just make it so that everybody is just in love with everybody else, right?
Yeah, exactly.
As much as you can with like a polycule kind of situation, anyway.
Yes. Oh boy, I am generous lover.
Yeah, very generous.
Yeah,
many lovers, all who get along at least tolerably.
Polycule forever strong. Polycule always get along.
What else? Oh god, I had a question in there and I forgot what it was now. Who does he target for that? Like, I know like eventually the whole thing is like world domination. Do other people like get to add people into the polycula, or like is it just like at his discretion, like he picks who joins and who?
I mean, I think it would kind of have to be a polycule wide decision at that point, right? Because like everybody,
it's a democracy.
Yeah, exactly. He's not a fascist. If there's one thing that Nando isn't, is a fascist.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, he's really good at communicating.
All right. Well, it's about time somebody was,
right? I wish I was him.
Yeah, I know. Me too. So, what else? So he just targets anybody.
You may not like it, but this is what peak male performance looks like.
Yeah. I mean, who am I to deny it? He's wearing a tracksuit.
Yeah.
And he's got a pompadour. Come on. How can you?
Those are the two things that make it peak.
Everybody's like, oh, Lestat, but like what they should be is, oh, Nando.
Of course,
which is exactly the whole point of his character is like, blood, nobody likes me, even though I have so many lovers.
I have perfect body.
It works out all the time. He doesn't need to because he's a wolf man, and those guys are apparently just inherently buff.
Yes, I am ripped.
So what is your favorite monster?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I think it depends on what we define as monsters, which I'm sure a lot of other people have said, but, I mean, I love a good, like, classic, Monster Mash style, Nando pilled, monster, for sure. I love, like, kind of a corny, but still, like, menacing in its own way. Like, classic style monster. A good slasher is also good. I think definitely my favorite slasher is Freddy Krueger, and I would classify him as pretty monstrous.
I'd say so.
Mm-hmm. Dream demon, whatever. Yeah. What else? I really like the monster in It Follows. That was a good concept and execution, I think. That definitely like got under my skin after. Babadook goes pretty hard. Bobby Duke goes pretty hard as well.
Well, yeah, Bobby Duke does all the time.
Yeah,
he's always thinking about those wet puppets. So.
Yeah, yeah, truly. Yeah, any monster. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. A monster will go to the front of my list if it can have a wet puppet attributed to it. And the wetter the better, obviously.
Hence the first monster that we did here.
Yes, the Discordant Floater could definitely have a wet puppet attributed to it, and I think Nando could also go for a wet puppet as well. He's a bit muppety.
I think so too.
Yeah.
He did have again like the two beady little eyes. So yeah, I could see that.
You could pass for a wet puppet. He's wet puppet passing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with all that hair grease that he puts in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That actually helps a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting. I think that Freddy Krueger is like one of those ones that's like, um, I want to say like universally like beloved because I don't think that's really true, but he's definitely one of my favorites as well. And I can also appreciate like the classic 50s monster mash kind of guys too, because they're all interesting and unique in their own way. Yeah.
And there's lots of different versions of them now too, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like the Tom Cruise version of the Mummy, or do you like the Boris Karloff version of the Mummy?
I mean, I'm definitely more partial to the Boris Karloff version, but that Mummy was like a cool girl with like shadow powers, right? Like that.
Was it?
I think, yeah, because Tom Cruise himself was certainly not the Mummy. At least I think.
I don't know. I never saw that movie. I feel like a lot of people did not see that movie.
I'm looking it up now.
And then also you can't forget like the Brendan Fraser,
that is true.
Well,
yeah, those go hard.
That seriously exploded the bisexual population.
Yeah,
so
as it should.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty cool, I think. She's got a cool thing going on. She's got like claw jewelry. She just looks like any West Hollywood goth, actually. But that's why I like her. I'm biased in that way.
Hey, I can't blame you there. There's definitely, you're right. There's a bit of a look about that, and I think that's a cool design. It kind of stinks that it didn't take off, the way that it probably could have. But
dark universe.
It is what it is. Oh, so much potential. When I first heard about it, I was like, oh boy, here we go, and then it's definitely looked like the discordant floater, when it's trying to fly away.
There he is.
Yeah, that dude. Okay, so moving on to the last monster of the episode.
Yes.
We do have this one comes from previous guest Marceline Burkholtz.
Incredible.
Yeah, she was just on. I as of this recording, not to get too behind the scenes, still got to edit the episode. But it was about a week ago we talked, and she was like, I think that I want my monster to be called the Wigmaker. So
the Wigmaker.
The Wigmaker.
Oh, the Wigmaker. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe he helped out Nando. Yeah. Look, I'm not trying to slander Nando, but I'm just saying you don't get a pompadour like that.
No, I mean sometimes you need a little bit of help.
Exactly. Nothing wrong with that.
Sometimes you need help with folliculas,
That was a good one. That was a really good one. Wow.
Oh God.
I like
For
that
more quality humor like this, feel free to subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/justalittle guy.
Just chock full of good transitional puns.
It's certainly full of something. Okay, so the Wigmaker. So we'll say that this person knew Nando.
Yeah, they're
part of
associates, business partners.
Yeah. What do you picture when you think of the Wigmaker as a monster?
My very first thought was a spider who weaves together wigs out of its stuff.
Out of its whatchamacallit there, the silk and whatnot?
The spider pooper.
The spider pooper.
Whatever like that thing is.
So like the silk and the
something like that. That was my first thought. I don't know. What do you think?
Interesting. So I kind of had like when I first thought about this, it was like those like almost kind of cliche now, but like the porcelain doll kind of things that they have in a lot of like horror movies where it's like it's like a full-grown person, but they're wearing like a porcelain doll mask, and like they just like, I don't know, they're kind of like weird, like almost what's the word I'm thinking about here?
Uncanny Valley, sort of.
Yeah, but they're like on what's the things the puppeteers use?
Oh yeah, the marionette thing.
Marionettes. Yes. I keep on thinking about stuff like that when I thought of it, but then I thought about like it has magnificent hair, like a giant like
Oh
beehive
yeah,
kind of
it's
thing,
gotta.
almost like you'd see in like Hedwig and the Angry
Uh
Inch.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, you gotta have something. I don't know why a fro was my first choice there, but
No, I mean Fro's good too.
I'm trying to like merge these two ideas, and what I'm thinking, it's not really clear from this under sketch.
Trying
but,
to do a monster mash, if you will.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's the monster fuckers will like that one too.
Yes.
for obvious reasons. But I was thinking like some kind of big spider-like thing that's weaving together, with the silk, but it has like a porcelain mask on. Ooh, maybe it could be. This would be difficult to execute, but maybe there could be a big spider-like thing above as like the marionette, and then also the silk producer. And then down here, like both of these beings constitute the Wigmaker, who is this weird sort of porcelain doll automaton with big hair.
I think that makes a lot of sense because then you kind of have like the horror behind the uncanny kind of thing,
And like, it's kind of in the shadows, like not even really visible.
Right.
And
like
then,
if this were to like operate a shop, it would be like in the very back room, like in the most shadowy part, and, like just operating using the marionettes, like you said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm looking at reference images.
Oh boy.
Ooh, that is cool. Maybe something like.
Oh yeah.
Something like this.
That looks pretty nice. Yeah.
That fits a Uncanny Valley type beat.
I'd say so.
But I'm imagining like kind of a Victorian dress. Does that make sense for the?
I mean, if you're strictly in D&D, I think so. If you're doing something that's like, I mean, I feel like you could adapt it to whatever setting,
Yeah, exactly.
Fashionable towards, whatever era you're setting your game in or your story in. So I think it's more of a fielder's choice kind of thing,
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Because I think that like Victorian dresses are kind of creepy on their own. They're a throwback to a more, I don't want to say brutal time, but I guess brutal time would probably be true. There was a lot of like deceitful stuff kind of happening way back when. And I feel like that's kind of fitting. Yeah.
I think so. Oh yeah, big hair. Maybe not like Marge Simpson. That would be kind of weird, actually.
I thought it kind of looked like. Have you ever seen the oblongs?
Oh, sorry. What'd you say?
Oh, I said, have you ever seen the oblongs?
Yes.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of that hair.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I like the oblong.
Yeah, I feel like that was a show that got canceled way too soon.
Yeah.
There was a question going around a little while ago that was like, if you could bring back one show, what would it be? I feel like my answer would probably be, well, I actually don't know for sure because I feel like it would be like a wasted pick, honestly. But like, I think that if you gave me like 5 shows to bring back, the oblongs would probably be in the top 5.
Sure. I could definitely see that. Maybe there's like baby spiders who live in her hair.
Yeah, that's kind of like if you're like playing like a game, that would be like a hint, just like, yeah. It's like the maybe that's like where it lays its eggs or something like that, and then like it, I don't know.
And then I'm also imagining her being like surrounded by loose floppy wigs everywhere.
Well, yeah, because like it's not seeing like what it's doing.
Yeah,
so
exactly. It's just producing.
Down. Yeah,
it's like a good metaphor for our content-based economy.
Yes, I agree. It's just there. This was generated by AI.
Exactly. Yeah, the spider is just sort of an unthinking thing, and then the marionette is its conduit, you know?
Yes,
This is such a sloppy sketch, but...
Isn't that what sketches are for?
That's true. If nothing else. Yeah. And I was imagining it, like, using each of its arms to do that, but it could also have, like, the little cross thing. That.
Oh, yeah, like the... Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I did the little gesture, which will show up on the on the video, but that just looks more like I'm trying to say, like, oh yeah, like drinking.
Yeah.
This monster is a lush.
Wigmaker. You've got
Wigmaker.
Marionette porcelain doll. I'm thinking maybe the porcelain doll marionette is like a little bit alive. Maybe it's like full of baby spiders.
Okay, that's an interesting.
That's take. Terrifying. Yeah. They're all just like
so many little spiders just running around inside of it,
falling out of her.
It's 6 million baby spiders in a trench coat.
Exactly, literally. And like the porcelain doll like mask is very ill-fitting, and like it'll sometimes slip off, and you'll see the thousands of spiders.
Just all the spiders running around back there. And, yeah. Oh, that would be kind of gross.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Well, I think that we already kind of decided this could be like a good metaphor for like content-based society, you know?
That's where I would take it. That's where I take a lot of things.
Yeah, but... that's fair. I mean, it's pretty ubiquitous right now.
Yeah.
I look for any excuse I get to use that word, so...
I like it. It's a good word.
And then, like, what kind of... do we think this monster just exists, like, to be creepy, or does it have, like, a thing where it will, like... Does it have, like, a attack kind of thing, I guess? I
think it definitely takes prey in its webs, in its various webs, at some point. I don't know if that's, like, its top priority, but it definitely, like, it eats people.
Yeah.
When it can.
Maybe the silk that it uses to produce the wigs is like coated with some kind of enzyme that lives inside of it, or some kind of chemical that like it produces, you know, it's just like a biological fact. And as long as it stays connected to the main string, maybe it creates like a mind control kind of effect, or like if not that, then it can like put in like intrusive thoughts, if we're going to go back to like the content.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah.
Just like,
makes
the longer you wear the wig, like, yeah, the more people, you would think to yourself, like, do people realize this is a wig? Like, they obviously have to know this is a wig, and then, like, it spirals out of control until you come back to, like, return the wig, and you're in such a terrible state that, like, it's just able to pounce and kind of take you over in terms of, like, eating you.
It preys on the vulnerable, and it makes the vulnerable more vulnerable.
Just like content.
That's so true.
Just like this podcast that you're listening to
right now.
Spread it to your friends.
Make sure they also feel bad.
Yes. Go follow Tucker Wooley.
Yeah. If you want to feel real bad.
I don't know what you're talking about. All your content makes me feel awesome.
I hope that's the goal,
Yeah, especially the ones with arch count decidual.
It made me feel very good to do that one. That one was just a fun, silly time.
I also appreciate that one where you put like putting my fart degree to good use.
Yeah, that one. I don't know. That was also a like sparking joy following that instinct thing. Yeah, I do. I have a secret. Well, it's not really that secret actually, but I have a petty streak where I kind of want to like piss off my old art professors by proxy.
Buddy, I completely understand that. Please tell me, like, if you've got like a story that like you're thinking about, just like you can feel free to let me know.
Oh yeah.
Because I got a story about an art professor as well.
Oh yeah. I have tons. I went to a small art school up here in LA, and I had many interesting experiences there.
I can imagine that there would be some folks who are like really, let's say they're sniffing their own.
Oh, definitely.
Discordant floater gases, you know?
Yes. Him. There
There
were a lot of these guys. I could definitely be this guy too. But like,
I mean,
yeah, I think we all can.
I mean, yeah. I think that's the most relatable monster that we've made so far.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. I went to a community college, and back in like 2007 is when I started, and I was like, I'm gonna go for graphic design, which required me to take a program called communications. And so it was like, I didn't realize it was more of like an advertising thing. I thought it was like an art thing, but
that'll disappoint.
Yeah. So when I went in there, they asked us to kind of do like a typography project kind of thing, where it's like, you know, you make a picture out of, for anybody who's not aware, it's like you make a picture out of letters. I think that's what that's called. It might be something different. So please let me know if it's something.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah. So I made a picture out of like letters and stuff. And I think because I was like 18 years old and this was like in the throes of like the Iraq war and stuff like that, I was like, I'm going to make like a little peace sign out of the words for Imagine by John Lennon. The teacher was like, you know, oh, you're like a sensitive guy, aren't you? But he was like being really sarcastic about it.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I mean, I guess so. I don't think that's like necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, like that's only a bad thing if you think it's bad, but like it's not.
Yeah. And then like later on I did a project where I like made out of the name, like out of the letters of my name, I made like a guitar.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, oh, that's like all right, like it's fine. And he was like not happy about it. He said I didn't have the right attitude for it and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And then I dropped out. I guess kind of proving him right. So
I guess by that warped logic, but the logic is rather warped. To begin with. Yeah, no, that's infuriating.
Yeah. You know what? The funny part is though, his name was Mr. Downer.
Oh,
and I was like, yeah, that's fitting.
My God. Wow. That's like something I would make up.
Fortuitous, right?
Yeah, extremely. Yeah. My art school thesis statement, not to put too fine a point on it, but it definitely like, you know, they're grooming you to be a good capitalist worker, which makes a certain amount of sense, because it's like, you know, if they want you to be successful and being a good capitalist worker is our like metric of success, then they're going to want to, you know. So I don't think it's necessarily coming from a malicious place all the time, but it certainly has malicious results, just because that mode of being kills the soul.
Right.
But that sounds bad.
Yeah, it wasn't very fun. But you know, then I mean I did go back later and I did like get a degree, but it was not in art. So but yeah, I'm glad that worked out for you though. Like with yours, even though you
community college feels like the more of the way to go. I wish I had done that. So as not to have completely bankrupted myself and my parents and just all of the above.
Was it more expensive going to like a exclusively art school?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's real expensive. We're starting to do the loans now, and it's the numbers involved are just astounding. They
Oh, my
boggle
Lord.
the mind.
I can only imagine.
It's like
Jeez.
paying extra rent on top of the rent that we already pay,
Oof.
basically.
Yeah, that's not great.
No. Yeah, especially like in Los Angeles, but we're making it work.
That's kind of what I was thinking as well, is like, it's got to be really pricey to just live there, period.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
and then to go to school up here is like a whole other thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the scariest monster
The
of all
Wigmaker.
is
Yes, capitalism.
capitalism and student loans and the intersection therein.
Yes.
I don't know what happened to her hair up here. I like drawing like impossible hair, like hair that would make a cosplayer have a panic attack.
It's made of impossible fake meat.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely some spider meat in there. So
yeah, I feel like there's spider meat in every single part of this, this character.
Absolutely. Spent a long time on
what else can we
just the nitty gritty of her whole deal.
I'm liking the details.
I find myself wanting to draw Princess Peach's dress because I've been playing Mario RPG Remake, which is a game that has incredibly good little guys in it. On both.
I need to check it out.
It's really good. It was definitely like my favorite. The original was my favorite game as a kid, so I have a lot of like very specific sentimentality toward it. But I think it holds up like as a good. It definitely like still feels like a Super Nintendo game, but in like all the good and bad ways that entails.
I gotcha. Well, I never had a Super Nintendo growing up, so I don't know what a good or bad.
I didn't either.
Really feels like
I just played it on the WiiWare virtual console.
Oh, okay.
Back when that was a thing, which is also like ancient history now.
Yeah, that's weird to think about. Like, I remember when we got the Wii, I was like, "Oh man, this is the future. This is what all games are going to be like going forward."
Yeah, no, I remember that too. Like. That was a time to be alive.
Yeah. I mean, I watched this other TikTok the other day where I say the other day, it was literally this morning, where a guy was talking about how when they got the Wii for Christmas, one of his family friends who was a cop came over and they had just gotten to play boxing. And so his brother played the boxing game against the police officer
oh my God.
Friend. And he said, like, when I went back to school, anybody who asked me, like, what did you do over your holiday break? He's like, oh yeah, we got the Nintendo Wii, and my brother got into a fight with a police officer.
Nice.
Yeah. So
pretty cool.
Yeah. So not many other. Well, I'd say there's not many other game systems where you can say you got into a fight with a cop, but Grand Theft Auto exists on like 3 different.
Yeah, I was just about to say
of console
Grand
now.
Theft Auto,
so
yeah,
it's
funny.
Oh man. I wonder what the GTA 6 is going to be like.
I know, right?
I don't actually wonder that much. I think it's just going to be exactly like the other ones.
Probably. But it'll probably be, like, pretty to look at.
Yeah. It'll be updated graphics and new masturbation jokes.
Yeah, exactly. So. You got to update them after a certain point.
Yeah. It's only been around for 13 years, so... we got away from this monster quite a bit.
Sorry, that was my bad.
No, it's okay.
Trying to communicate the fact that she's got like spiders spilling out of her head. This just looks like dust particles, really, but
maybe that's just what it looks like from further away.
Yeah, that would probably be what it would be in real life. Yeah.
Because like I'd imagine the shop like this, Spider is probably not thinking about like, oh, I got to keep this cleaned up.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't have the same like sensibilities that most people would have, so it'd probably be kind of dusty and grimy and
it's kind of Bloodborne aesthetic, that kind of grime.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm imagining these big compound eyes for spiders, partially just because I like drawing spiders with those big compound eyes. I don't know if any of them actually have that, but I remember seeing it on like Billy and Mandy once, and that like stuck in my brain.
Most spiders that spin webs have poor eyesight and rely on their senses of touch and smell to navigate their webs and find prey. Unlike insects, which have large compound eyes, Spiders have simple singular lens
Okay.
eyes, most like human beings. Although it does look like they do have like at least 4 to 6. So
Right.
yeah,
Maybe this is a fucked up spider.
yeah. This is. I mean, there's nothing saying that this spider can't have compound eyes.
That's yeah.
We ain't
True.
gotta be. We ain't gotta be 100% realistic. That's the point of being fantastical.
Oh, maybe he could be kind of tarantula like. That could also be an angle.
Yeah.
Because if he's fuzzy, then that could be something.
Oh, that's true too. Because then it could be. Yeah, I could see that being a thing with like why it would want to make like beautiful wigs. I don't know why I would say that, but
I think it cares a lot about like aesthetic beauty, but in kind of a warped way. Like it's willing to do whatever it takes in order to achieve that like standard.
Yeah,
which is also content.
Yes, we've come all the way back around.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I don't make a whole lot of content outside of like, this podcast.
I
do think there's something to be said.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like put myself into that grind. Like I don't really have anybody like and I don't really make a lot of money in general, but also like especially on the art that I make right now, like it's definitely not enough to be like an actual source of income. So any like weird grind set stuff that I have stuck in my brain is coming purely from me. Like,
oh, gotcha.
That's just an internal thing,
Yeah, it's just being brought up in capitalism,
exactly,
and things like that.
And so, makes in that sense, it's a little bit easier to ignore. I'm also thinking maybe like Black Widow insignia, or no, it should have like a different pattern on it.
Right, like maybe a little bit on the nose for it to have like the same kind of wig like mark on its back, but
that would be cool. Oh, maybe like a pair of scissors.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, nature has a weird way of doing things like that, like the death's head moth and things like that. So I could totally see that just spontaneously growing on the back of a spider.
Exactly.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a bow on its head, but scissors.
And then it's got these. Yeah, it does kind of look like a bow on its head. That would also be cute. Yeah, little accessory.
I care very much about the beauty standard.
Oh yeah, she's Russian.
That's that accent. Yeah,
that's good.
Is that accent? I keep on just picking it up.
Sure, you're Russian adjacent. Yeah. Wait, that kind of looked like a Goku thing.
Wait, what?
I started drawing a wig on the ground and it kind of came out Goku-like, so
I'm
gonna commit to that now.
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't they have a Goku?
Yeah, sure,
Especially in a modern setting, you got all the cosplayers and stuff. That'd be a great target audience for this monster.
This is very like, maybe she's definitely a relic from like, I'm imagining like kind of Bloodborne Gothic Victorian style setting, but she's desperately trying to stay relevant, so she makes cosplay wigs now and sells them on Etsy.
Of course. And then like you have to come and pick them up though because she doesn't do shipping.
Yeah, exactly. And then she eats you.
Yeah.
Standard stuff.
You gotta get. Yeah, because like you can't. It's as simple as it would be to just like ship the wigs. Like you can't ship the wig and the link back to this. Well, maybe you could. Maybe the wigs each have like. That's an interesting idea actually.
Yeah.
If you have like a little strand that like navigates its way back home.
Ooh, yeah, like a really thin spider web.
Yeah. And it's just like, even if you go to like another state, like that one little strand is like practically invisible and it just keeps trying to find its way back to the web itself.
That's really creepy.
And in doing so, like once it reconnects to the web, and if you're at a convention and this is a very popular shop, everybody's got the wigs already. Then you have more control over people, and I don't know.
And then it leads you back to food as well.
Yes, yes. And then just at random one day you decide, hey, wait, I want to go to this one place in this weird little town that I've never even thought about it,
I just
before.
feel pulled here for some
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
Almost as if by a web.
Yeah, almost as if by a string.
Yeah.
Very strange how that works. Yeah.
I like the
Cool
Wigmaker.
idea. Yeah. It's a neat little commentary on how things work in society, in terms of like, yeah.
The real monster is society. Haha.
Yes, especially in that movie, Society.
True. Yeah. Another good movie.
Oh, that's another thing I guess it could have been as well, is like instead of maybe a spider, like, well, no, it would have still been a spider, but like maybe the spider is like kind of an amalgamation of like spiders and people, kind of like making up the like the aesthetics and stuff like that. Like it has human sensibilities, but it has like a spider body kind of thing. Almost like The Fly, you know? You know how in The Fly he just gets like, he gets fused with a fly.
Yeah. It's
kind of like
in
that,
the middle of the Animorph transformation.
Yeah. Except this one is like all the way through. It's gotten to like full spider form, I'd say, yeah. But it used to be human.
Maybe the above spider is, or the spider controlling it is like the final form, and then the baby nest is sort of like the mid form sort of thing. Also, I'm now imagining like big spider legs coming out of her back, kind of like the that character from Super Paper Mario. What was her name? The secretary. I'm blanking, but she was green, and she kind of like her back would like break, and then like spider legs would come out the back of it, and it would kind of like use her body as a.
Is it Nastasia?
Yeah.
Okay, I have not played that, so I didn't actually know, but I looked it up, and yeah, that looks right. Let me see here.
That was a cool character.
I like the Wigmaker. I think it's a cool idea. I'm kind of committed to the lore of like The Fly.
Definitely.
Like transformation there. And then yeah, just tons of baby spiders just being on there, being creepy and leading people back to the shop so that they can get devoured. And yeah.
Yeah, I think the amount of like sentries that it has is also like a terrifying aspect to it. Like it creates so much. There's so much of itself out there in the world that it's like really hard to kill unless you like get them all in one place and then like set them on fire or something like that.
Oh, interesting. So like you're talking about like the baby spiders that it's like put out there over the centuries?
Yeah,
like,
they're kind of like spies or something maybe.
There you go. Maybe there's one with each wig. Maybe that's how it gets back home.
Yeah,
instead of like there's an
there.
errant like thing. It's there's a spider in your wig. Yeah.
There's a spider.
It's a cool monster. There's a snake in my boot.
There's a spider in my wig.
Yeah, I like this character. It's interesting. Okay.
She's a Soulsborne boss.
Just a little what? I'm sorry.
She's like a Soulsborne boss.
Ah, yeah, just a little Soulsborne boss. You're absolutely right. I could see this in one of those games. All right, cool. Well, Tucker, really quick, if you wouldn't mind, since I appreciate you being here. First of all, thank you for being here. I've been meaning to revamp my way of like signing off. So thank you for being here. I had a lot of fun. Is there any place online that people can find you if you choose to be found?
Yeah, I mean, TuckerWooley.com has all of it pretty much. That's the hub. My little dinky looking website hub zone. But yeah, that links out to all the social medias and all of the online storefronts where you can see my various things. I'm on YouTube. I'm starting to make like video essays and stuff like that, which has been really interesting experience. I'm making comics and animation, and like you mentioned, the TikTok is also a thing. But yeah, all those links are basically on there. I have It's a glorified link tree on tuckerwoolley.com.
Yeah, and obviously I'll put everything in the description as well.
Yeah,
so if anybody would like to go and follow Tucker, feel free to check the description right below wherever it's posted. If you're watching the video, it'll be below me. If you're listening on the podcast, it can be literally anywhere. I don't know how your app does it. But yeah, go and check out Tucker's work. And again, really appreciate you being on here and appreciate you working with us here. Probably paste these pictures of the monsters up on Patreon.
Oh, yes.
And just all over social media because they look beautiful. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
So thank you.
I definitely intend to finish them up a little bit more and polish them, maybe even color.
Sure.
Make them look.
I mean,
curvy.
do whatever. Yeah, whatever you want, man. I mean, I appreciate just the extra effort here. Like, I haven't had anybody do like a drawing of the do art of the monsters as we were like recording. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
and I
fun.
appreciate the effort. Thanks again, everybody, for listening to our show. And once again, obviously, you can find all of Tucker's social media information right there in the description. If you'd like to see the artwork of the monsters that Tucker made during the show, I will have those posted on the YouTube version as well as on the show's Blue Sky account, any social media, really. So be sure to check that out. They all turned out really great. I just love his art style. And I think that, again, definitely worth checking out. Thanks again to our Patreon supporters. That's D. Solari, Taru Tikkanen, Lunchbox, and Jared S. Looking forward to releasing our next episode, which will come out next month, around the end of the month. Well, if you're on Patreon. So here's the thing. If you're on Patreon, you'll get the newest episodes as soon as I'm done with them. If you are just going to listen on the free version, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to be releasing on a monthly schedule now, the last week of the month, just before What's Left of Us, which, by the way, if you didn't know, I'm part of a D&D actual play series called What's Left of Us, along with Thought Slime, Zoe B, Wild Jinx, the Starfish Face, and of course, J-Corn. But yes, if you're interested in that, go and check it out. It's at youtube.com/@thejcorn, or you could just search What's Left of Us, J-Corn, on YouTube. You'll be able to find all of our archives on there. Give it a watch, give it a listen, watch me grow as a D&D player. And, just enjoy the story. We've got some great characters. Anyway, I've rambled on enough. Go check out What's Left of Us. Go check out Tucker Wooley's information in the description. And I will see you in the next episode. So, yeah, in the meantime, stay safe and beware of Nando the Magnificent. Yes.